Hello there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into r/entitled parents, where parents are, in fact, very entitled. If you enjoy, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Now, let's get started, shall we? I just saw a lady get tasered for trying to snatch a woman's face mask to give to her child. I argued with my husband about whether or not to post this because I'm pretty sure this will make the local news, and I didn't want to burn this account just yet, but he won RPS, so here we are. Prepare yourself, this story has layers. We were at the dreaded big box store, picking up potting soil, because we're going to DIY ourselves through the isolation. Things aren't crazy here yet, but there is a 2 customer limit on a majority of items. I assume this means everything, so we're getting 2 bags of each of a few different types of soil. My husband's loading the last of 8 bags on our cart when I heard her. I know it's a Karen just by the level of unnecessary outrage in her voice.
Are you kidding me?
Not a lot of people out here in the garden center, but we all looked to her. I was almost disappointed to see she didn't come with the requisite haircut. She actually looked like a frazzled mom, her kid tugging on her hand, and an overfull handbasket of groceries. And I had a moment of, girl, I feel you. But damn it, she was pointing at us.
You can't buy that many. You're hoarding.
My husband said, yes, we can. We're getting 2 each.
Oh, you don't fool me. I know what you're doing.
And my husband says, so do I. F off. I'm just sitting there, imagining all the ways I'm going to rock his world tonight. Well, Karen huffed at that, spun around, and yanked her kid back inside to go complain to the employee working at the cash register nearby. Now, we've already paid for our items. The employee had to come out and scan the bags earlier, and he could see our cart from inside. So being finished, we pushed the cart out of the garden center into the parking lot, and then the automatic doors from behind us. I hear,
Now they're stealing.
just great. We load the soil into the car and turn around to bring the cart back and look at plants. By this time we get back, Karen has given up on trying to convince the employee that we're the Bonnie and Clyde of dirt, and is now trying to negotiate skipping somebody in line. She has a child, you see, and her handbasket, well, it's just so full and heavy. Could she please just scooch right on in there real quick, and it'll just be an extra second, she swears. The woman Karen is trying to skip is young, maybe college age, and wearing a face mask. Not a medical mask, but the stretchy kind you'd wear while riding a motorcycle or while you're skiing. My husband has just informed me it's a neck gaiter. The mask is black and has scary wolf teeth on it, and that honestly made the girl look like somebody you should not screw with, even though she was wearing a Gap t-shirt and flip-flops. Girl is just shaking her head, and that's all I got as we dropped off the cart. I browse, pick up a couple plants, and we head back inside to wait online. Now it's showtime. Karen and Mask Girl are near the register facing off, no pun intended. From the looks of things, Mask Girl finished her purchase, and Karen stopped her before she could leave. I don't know if she grabbed her or anything, but Karen was still holding her full handbasket, so she hasn't checked out yet. Well, she hadn't paid for her groceries yet, because clearly this woman had checked out.
But you don't even need it now. You're leaving. My son could get sick because you won't give it to him, and he needs it.
The Masked Girl says, hell no, you can't have it. Back off, lady. Karen says,
But my son really likes it, and it's obviously made for boys anyway. Why would you even want to wear something so scary?
because I like it, and it has my germs on it. Why would you put a stranger's mask on your child?
Oh, why are you being so rude? You wouldn't let us go through the checkout first, and now you're making my son very upset.
That's your problem, not mine, the masked girl says. And then Masked Girl turns to leave while Karen manifests the biggest balls I have ever seen and grabs Masked Girl by the back of her mask. Let me make a side note. When all of this is going down, we're just standing in line and watching. The register's still going boop, boop, boop as the employee scans items. But otherwise, we're all just inside this hypnotic bubble. But when Karen reached out towards Masked Girl, it was like the bubble went and made everything crystal clear. Not slow-mo or anything like that, but I felt absolutely hyper-aware, like Spider-Man. Karen reaches out. People on both sides of me inhale loudly. Karen grabs the mask and yanks. A lady on my right yells, and my husband steps forward. So getting late tonight, by the way. Masked Girl tucks her head down as she turns to Karen, like a pissed-off bull with a bright and shiny new target. I think Karen was going to say something like,
"Don't walk away from me,"
or something like that, but all she got out was,
"Don't."
And then there was a giant crack noise. I looked around because the noise was so loud. I figured the roof was about to cave in, but out of the corner of my eye I see Karen spasm and drop to the floor writhing. Little Miss Masked Girl had a taser. I don't know when she pulled it out, this tiny little flashlight looking thing, but she laid Karen out with it, and not one of us moved for what felt like forever. Like we were frozen, and then it was bedlam. Security guard shows up. More employees show up. Masked Girl is chilling, like she's been through this before and knows what comes next. The kid is screaming that the wolf girl killed his mom, even though she's groaning and sobbing on the floor and clearly not dead, but maybe wishing she was. The people that had been in line with us were all talking at once, trying to tell the security guard what happened. We hung around just witnessing the insanity for maybe 2 minutes before Karen started choking out demands for an ambulance, the police, a lawyer, the mayor, restitution, and reparations. My husband made eye contact with an employee and got a thumbs up when he put the plants on a shelf and pointed towards the door. We got the heck out of there right away. We drove home in silence until my husband parked the car in our driveway. And then we just burst out laughing. Neither of us have ever seen anything like that before. We live in a small beach town. People are super laid back and mellow. Karen was anything but, and I hope, to whatever gods may exist above, to never, ever see her again. Someone in the comments says Masked Girl is a badass, and I tend to agree. Now, before we get to the next story, I want to say, if you're enjoying the story so far and want a subject to leave a comment about so you can help the video do better, leave a comment about my hat. I'm sure the algorithm would enjoy that. Now on to the next video. On to the next story.
I don't care if you have cancer. My child deserves your seat.
This encounter happened about 7 months ago. I do not want to insult your intelligence because you most likely already know what EM and me stands for. But I should say that EK in this story stands for Embarrassed Kid. And OG stands for Old Gentleman. The kid was very polite and sorry. So this story isn't about him. I'm translating this into English, so bear with me. A little backstory. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with a cancer of the nasal cavity, stage 2. The tumor was quite large, but thankfully benign. To get it removed, I first had to undergo aggressive chemotherapy to make it smaller. Thanks to the chemo, I had severe alopecia, which is also known as hair loss, which made most of my hair and even eyebrows and eyelashes fall out. At some point I had to go bald, but I wore a wig, because I didn't want to look like a skinhead. I'm 6'4" and pretty muscular, so I thought people would assume. So once, after a long chemo session in the hospital, I took the bus home. There's only one bus that goes from the hospital to where I live, so I took that one to see if it was absolutely packed. I felt like crud thanks to the chemo, so I asked the middle-aged dude to let me sit. He was very understanding and gave me his spot without complaining. If you're reading this, thanks, bro. 2 stops later, an entitled mom, a lovely whale with an I demand Polly with the CEO haircut, and some 12-year-old kid. It took her roughly 5 seconds to see the bus was packed and start looking for a free seat, spot me, and start marching, or in this case, waddling, to me. When I saw her, I knew I was screwed. She then stood next to me and decided to talk to me. This is the conversation that follows.
Hey, could you let my kid sit down?
You mean me?
Who else?
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm on my way from the hospital, Ed.
So are we.
This is nonsense, by the way. The stop was a few kilometers away from the hospital.
My boy just broke his leg and we're coming straight from the ER.
Her kid was standing right next to her without any support, clearly embarrassed. I say, he's clearly standing next to you completely fine.
Look here, boy. My kid deserves to sit down.
Look, madam, I'm sorry, but I just got back from a chemo session in the hospital, and I need to sit down and rest. Entitled mom then straight up started yelling in my face.
Stop making excuses and get off the effing seat, you effing skinhead piece of poo.
At this point, I was baffled. I didn't know what to say. The kid was trying to make his mother stop, and we had the attention of the whole bus. She then grabbed me and tried to yank me from my seat. I held on tight and thankfully didn't fall off. And now enter old gentleman, my savior.
Will you shut the fuck up, you damn cow?
Who do you think you're talking to?
Stop assaulting other passengers, or I will be forced to step in.
Also, every dumb moron can see that the dude can't.
Also, every dumb moron can see that dude has cancer.
No, he's just a fucking skinhead.
He's got no eyebrows, you twat!
It seems like that really offended entitled mom because she spun around on the spot and threw a falcon punch in OG's face. I was shocked and in disbelief, and the whole bus was flabbergasted, and the kid probably wished he'd never been born. OG then said something unbelievable, and a golden, absolutely sweet karma moment followed.
Okay, that does it. Harassing passengers on the bus, physical assault against a passenger, and now assaulting an officer. You're in deep trouble, lady.
OG then pulled out a badge and told her to stay where she was. Then he pulled out his phone, called someone, and told her she was being arrested. I could not believe it. OG was a bloody cop. At this point, EM was white as a wool. The bus had just come to a stop, so she decided she'd make a run for it. But other passengers blocked her way. She then also got charged with resisting arrest thanks to this. Just wanted to say. 3 stops later, a police car was waiting for the entitled mom and entitled kid. Entitled kid told me he was sorry for his mother's behavior, and I felt really sorry for the kid. He wasn't a bad kid, but his mother was a hellspawn. Old gentleman then talked to me and asked me if I wanted to press charges, to which I gladly said yes, took a statement, and thankfully was kind enough to let me solve everything on the phone, so I didn't have to come to the police station for questioning. In the end, entitled mom got some jail time, I think it was a few months, and some community service. I, in return, got a good story to tell and the sweet taste of instant karma. Right now, I'm riding the same bus home as I just got home from the hospital after a checkup, which reminded me of this. A friend who's sitting next to me told me I should post it here. He, as much as myself, couldn't believe that such people existed, but it seems I proved it to him. I should also note that the surgery went well. I was declared cancer-free in November, and my hair is slowly returning. Also, I don't need to wear a wig anymore. Let's see. Someone in the comments says, congratulations on becoming cancer-free. I'd like to mirror those sentiments and extend OP my most sincere congratulations for becoming cancer-free. Good job, keep it up, enjoy your life. Don't walk into a nuke. That would be a very bad idea. I think so, at least. I mean, when I walked into a new guy was cooked alive. That's the end of today's stories. If you enjoyed, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and check out the Entitled People story playlist so if you enjoyed. Now, I will see you all next time. Hasta la pasta.